Thank you, Stephen. Final speaker for the negative, Arthur Graves.
Kia ora tata katoa, ngā mihi nui, kia koutou. I have to declare an interest. I work in a school. I'm a principal of a school. That makes me, obviously, a really inferior human being if I listen to our learned friends to my right. And I feel really sad about that. I feel sad that they have such a deficit view of what is a world-class education system. I have... Why, Steve? Why?
Because I didn't say that. You're the only one who's down in school.
Thank you. All it's been so far is a litany of the so-called or perceived or imagined failures of public schooling. The interesting thing that's come through from some of these arguments, to me, is that it is actually about ideology. It is actually about whether people want a choice or not. And it's really a matter of how you deliver that choice. We have one of the most independent schooling systems in the world. In fact, probably the most independent schooling system in the world. We're so far off the scale with our self-managing schools that other countries just look at us and roll their eyes when they come and find out about what goes on. We do have independence in the school environment, regardless of what people think. So the rigid uniformity is an absolute rubbish. The teaching methods are in every school. In fact, one could argue that in some private schools, the teaching methods haven't shifted for 150 years. The rigid adherence to so-called standards around really important issues like uniform and not learning, around really important issues like whether we should call them sir or pull their forelocks. They are really, really important to the future of our country. Sure. So, we come to the point that I've got the impression that I've been listening to a whole lot of emotion parading as an argument. And I've asked myself the question as we go along, is this actually about quality education? Is this about a funding system? Is this about private schools being better? Or is it about knocking our public school system so that they look better? Is it about the future of education in New Zealand? Or is it about trying to score points at the expense of the present and the past when they don't even know anything about it? The facts that speak for themselves is that there is increasing achievement in our schools. Every year it is going up. Increasing levels of literacy and numeracy. Internationally, as has already been mentioned, we figure in the top half of the OECD's figures for education. We are in the top half dozen for our 15-year-olds in science and maths. We also, finish off that point, as we're in the top half of the OECD's figures, which is interesting really, that is the one economic indicator in New Zealand that we are actually in that top half. No other part of the economy performs that way at all. So the answer is, wouldn't it be better for the rest of the country to learn from the current education system? So, where it comes down to it is, as I said, we have emotion parading as an argument, and really, when we're talking about it, we come back to the topic, which is actually about vouchers, and New Zealand having a voucher system. There is a lack of evidence to support that contention. The difficulty for voucher advocates, and this is from an Australian study, is that they are asking for a radical change to the structure of the school sector, but are unable to point to any persuasive evidence on the supposed educational benefits of these schemes. The main pillars of their case are that voucher-induced competition would raise teaching standards and improve academic outcomes in both public and private schools. Vouchers would generate a more cost-effective school sector, and vouchers would provide parents with greater choice. The only one of these arguments that is supported by the available evidence is that vouchers would increase parental choice, although these benefits would probably be largely confined to middle and high income earners. An Australian study Macintosh and Wilkinson very recently done.